are the New York Knicks. I'm back in the New York groove. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York girl. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks taking no shorts, just like winter. New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is
K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
Go New York, go New York, go!
Hey everybody, welcome to the New York Knicks podcast, episode 672. I am Jay. How you doing, Mark?
Good. I think Jay and I were just talking before the show. We've agreed this is by far the worst part of the season. No question about it. The season, basically, the Knicks are now 40-21. It's been a good season. They should easily hit 50 wins this year. Came off a disappointing game against Golden State, but whatever. Here's what's going on right now. We're past the All-Star break. Everyone's ready for the playoffs, and we have to wait like 4 weeks for the playoffs or whatever number of weeks while we deal with pretending these games. Who gives a shit at this point? Just finish the goddamn schedule, get the playoffs started. We know what the teams are. End the goddamn season and start the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty much locked into a playoff berth, probably a top four. And now we're just hoping that in the next 20 games, nobody gets injured. And that's really it.
Right. I mean, currently the Knicks look like they're the third seed, playing Detroit first round. Should be an interesting first round. Detroit's better than everyone thought this year. Blah, blah, blah. But it's kind of like, okay, well, like, also I don't want the Knicks to stumble. I mean, Knicks were 4 up on Milwaukee. We got a bunch of games to go, but like, it'd be annoying if they played Milwaukee or Indiana first round. I'd rather play Detroit, or it'd be annoying if I don't just end the goddamn season. Like, I still don't want anyone to get injured and like. By the way, which we talked about before. Jay sent me something showing that the Knicks are the least injured team in the entire NBA this year. They've had the fewest games and the fewest minutes missed by players who are injured of the entire league, which really is interesting because the entire league is convinced Tibbs is injuring his players every game because he's overplaying everyone.
Yeah, literally the least by games missed and by minutes missed. So
right.
It's interesting, yeah.
It is interesting that the minutes police are staring at facts they hate because Tibbs seems to be keeping everyone healthy.
Well, the minutes police are really mad at Kidd now that Kyrie went down.
Yes.
I think the basketball gods are just punishing the Mavs. I mean, when Kyrie went down, I said, oh, that looks bad. I'm going to pick up Hardy as backup. 5 minutes later, Hardy destroys his ankle and he's out. And last night, Hardy's backup got injured. So they were down to like 6 players or something. It was insane.
So Nico Harris, what else do you think he traded in his deal with the Devil?
Seriously.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Oh, by the way, Kyrie was playing like 40 minutes a game for like maybe a week and he got injured. There's no way that like you can't blame Kidd for that. Also, you can't blame Kidd because Nico got rid of half the offense.
Yeah. It wasn't. They had a lot of good defensive players, but without Luka, it was the Kyrie show, especially with Davis out.
It's so. It's so crazy because Nico was like, you know what? I think if we're gonna have forget long term. If we want to win now, Anthony Davis is a better option than Luka. I'm closing our window a bit, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna win it. And now they may not make the playoffs.
I think they fell. They fell to 9th, right? 9th or 10th. 9th.
I think they were 10th. Okay,
10th.
Maybe they're no, they're 10th right now. They are sitting in the 10th seed behind Sacramento. They are 2.5 games up on the Phoenix Suns, and they, with all the injuries, the Mavericks are not even make the play-in. They are going to the lottery. I don't know if they have their own pick or not, but they're plummeting fast.
That's crazy.
Nico Harris, he's gonna be out of it. I mean, I guess you can't blame him for the injuries, but like. He must have a drinking problem at this point.
Yeah, I mean, well, we should probably talk about the Knicks.
Let's go about the Knicks. Go back to the Knicks.
Mitch is back.
By the way, Isaiah Thomas is watching Nico being like, I'm not such a bad GM, am I? Look at Nico.
So Mitch came back. He's on a minutes restriction, but you immediately see his impact when he's in the game.
He looks So last year when he came back from injury, he looked a little bit out of shape. He just did not look fully ready into game shape. Whereas this year, I feel like he looks obviously not full Mitch, but he looks pretty good right from the start.
He does. He does. It looks like he's capped out at about 14, 15 minutes a game right now.
I mean, Tibbs says he's not on a minutes restriction, but seems to only be playing in 14 or 15 minutes a game, even without Towns in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing that'll increase each game. I'm expecting tonight versus the Lakers, it'll probably be 18 to 20. I mean, let's be honest, he's not going to play more than like 24 or 25
It's
a game
stupid
anyway,
to
right?
play him more. They know the injury risk with him. You want him healthy for the playoffs. In the playoffs, all you want is 20 minutes out of him. Like that's fine. 20, 25 minutes. Just do that the rest of the way. Don't do anything more.
Yeah. Even if he could play 30, like wait for the playoffs.
Wait for the play. Yeah, exactly. Wait for the playoffs. So the Knicks had a couple games since our last show. They had two down to the wire games against the Grizzlies and against the Heat. Won them both, and then just fell apart in the last 5 minutes against the Warriors. The Knicks are still like winning a lot of games, stumble here or there. What do you think? What's your takeaway at this point? And then also the Knicks were missing Towns versus Golden State, which would have been very helpful because Golden State doesn't have any big men to stop Towns.
Yeah. Do you know when the last time Curry lost at MSG?
I think he's 12-1 or 13-1 at MSG. So yes, I do actually because they mentioned it during the game. It was the game that Curry had 56 points basically against the Knicks when he lost.
Yeah, 2013.
Holy shit! I didn't remember what year it was. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah. So I think he lost his first game at MSG and then hasn't lost since.
No, it wasn't his first game at MSG. You know why?
Why?
Well, first of all, he was in the league before that. But
Yeah, but he had injury history, so I'm sure he might have missed.
no,
game.
but he played before. You said he lost in 2013. He was in he played before that. But anyway, he won when he was at Davidson on the MSG floor.
Ah, nice.
So like they were like even in college he didn't lose at MSG.
Yeah, if Towns was playing, I think it would have been a different story. As far as the loss, they have the fourth best record in the NBA. Like, I don't get all this. Like, people are overreacting, I think, to losses. Like, teams lose games. Like,
Yes.
teams. If you look at even OKC and Cleveland, who have incredible records, they have some losses to not good teams. So it happens, and I'm not going to
Okay,
overreact to it.
so you want to get in the panic mode yet? Like, do you want to talk about what we should be panicking about?
Should we be panicking at all?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring the doom and gloom. Like, not panicking, but I have some concern. I had some concern last show, and I continue to have some concern.
I mean, having concerns is fair, but people seem to be having downright like blow up the team, trade. But I'm seeing trade Towns and Hart. Like, I don't know.
What are they trading Towns and Hart for? What's the idea here?
I don't know. Even Colin Coward went on the air and said to trade for Giannis. Although, I guess to get on national media, you just have to not pay attention to anything because he said the Knicks should trade Towns and OG and 5 draft picks for Giannis, which they don't have. So 5 first rounders. So they can't even do that. So good.
Okay, there are a couple things the Knicks are not doing well, and those things are that need to be improved. So there are a couple basic stats. So first off, 3-point attempts. The 3-point. Do you know where the Knicks are on 3-point attempts?
28th.
27th. So very close. But the only team that's down there that's also really good. I mean, actually, the Lakers are 25th, and the Nuggets are 30th. So you don't necessarily have to be bad to be like. But the Knicks, they need to be shooting more threes, right?
Yeah.
Would that be fair?
Well, I said this last episode. They have a lot of good 3-point shooters. So the fact that they aren't shooting them doesn't make sense because they have a lot of good 3-point shooters.
Do they?
They
right
do.
now, by the way, the Knicks are 8th in 3-point percentage, and they're at 37%. They're they're a 10th behind the Celtics. So the Knicks are generally, first of all, the Celtics are shooting 37.1% from three, and they're shooting 48 threes a game. The Knicks are shooting 37% and shooting 34%. Obviously, shooting 10 more threes a game or 14 more threes a game wouldn't mean they keep the same percentage. But the Knicks need to be shooting more. You can't be like near the last in the league in 3-point attempts.
Well, Towns is shooting the least amount he has in like 5 years, I believe.
The whole team is not shooting a lot of threes, and they're not making them, and they're getting worse at threes. They're getting much worse at threes. So let's go through some of the players. Mikal Bridges. Let me just go through his 3-point percentage. So he started off the year like just going month by month. He basically in November he shot like almost like 30%, terrible. In December he shot 43%, great. January 35% or 36% basically. That's pretty good. February he was at 32%. In March he's 18%.
18 is brutal.
That's brutal. Basically post All-Star break he is shooting 27% from 3. Prior to All-Star break, you're shooting 36%. 36% not amazing, but it's fine. 27% is atrocious. Okay.
Yeah.
Next up, you want to pick a player.
McBride.
You went to the bench.
Well, he's a good 3-point shooter.
He's a good 3-point shooter. He might need more minutes basically, and like, okay, so his 3-point shooting. Everyone actually his has kind of stayed about where it's been. It hasn't actually gotten worse. So basically, post All-Star break, he's shooting 35%. Pre All-Star break, he was shooting 37%. Still solid. Could be shooting a tad better from 3. But generally, he's been fine.
Maluz wants to see Shamit.
I'm gonna go through the starters. God damn it. Anyway, Mikal
What is it, a
has
different
been
page?
terrible from 3. It's been frustrating. OG's been really good. He stayed good. I don't need to go to him. Brunson has definitely been a little bit off from 3, but not bad. Let me pull it out.
So what's your point?
Everyone's worse from 3 lately. They're not shooting the threes. They're not making them. For the last month and a half, they've been horrible from 3. As a team, it's been OG's been hitting threes. Brunson's been doing it decent. No one else is hitting threes anymore.
Okay. I mean, I don't think that's just the way the team is now.
I'm just saying there's something going on. Oh, the guy I wanted to point out is Josh Hart has been god awful from 3. I love Josh Hart, one of my favorite players. He's awesome. You need him to win. But I don't know what the hell's going on. Did he just stop shooting threes? I got to go to his 3-point percentage because his is just.
Well, I know he's not even being covered anymore.
Why would you? I can cover him from 3 from my couch.
I'm gonna
Okay.
guess in March he's at like 26%.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you his pre All-Star break, 33, 30, about 34%.
Mm-hmm.
Just under. Not terrible, but you want better, right?
Yeah.
Guess his post All-Star break 3-point percentage. And this is just 5 games. Just guess what it is.
22.
He wishes it was that high.
What is it?
12.5%.
Oh my god.
Holy shit. And this is the year, going month by month. November, 40%. Great. December, 42%. Oh my God, I love Josh Hart. January, 25%. Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure he'll break out of that. February, 23%. March, 0.0%.
I mean, there's been what, 1 game, 2 games?
Two games. Anyway, it is really hard to win when guys cannot hit. The NBA is so about threes. You need the whole point of getting Towns was a 5-out lineup. It's not a 5-out lineup if you don't have to even cover some of the players for 3. Mikal Bridges will snap out of it. I am not certain Josh Hart will snap out of it. Maybe you move Josh Hart to the bench. Maybe you play around with the lineup and put McBride out there more. I love Josh Hart. He's not going to go down in minutes. But maybe you need to mix this stuff up. I don't know.
McBride's minutes have been going up.
Yeah, he has been going up much. And he finished the game the other night. He finished against I think against the Heat. He finished the game.
He finished over Bridges.
Yeah, because Bridges was playing poorly. Maybe was that the Memphis game he finished?
Bridges was like, he was really bad that game, and so yeah, Tibbs just went with McBride. It was the right choice.
It's the right choice. You have to be able to mix. Yeah, it was the Miami game. Bridges was 2 for 11 for 5 points. Tibbs is like, you just don't have it tonight. I'm going to stick with McBride.
You go with the hot hand, which is great.
Yeah, but the Knicks, they've got to shoot some more threes and make some more threes. Towns, I know, has had the finger. I mean, Towns has the finger issue, or thumb issue. Hopefully, his three-point shooting hasn't been bad though. But you need more threes from him. I mean, the biggest issue really is Josh Hart. Hart needs to be able to hit some threes. Like this is ridiculous. If they want to win some playoff games, Hart has to be able to hit threes.
Yes, and their defense has to look better, but I think that will with more minutes from Mitch.
You want to go to the next issue?
Yeah.
I'm full of issues tonight, Jay. Okay, so sticking with 3-point shooting. Do you know where the Knicks rank in opponents' 3-point shooting percentage?
I mean, if it's not last, then I don't know who's worse.
It's goddamn dead last. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bury the lead here, Jay. It's goddamn dead last behind Sacramento. It's 37.5%. What the hell? So they've never been this bad. I look back at the Tibbs years. The first year when they went to the playoffs against Atlanta, they actually were one of the best teams in the NBA against the three. Every year since, they've been somewhere in the middle of the pack. Not amazing, but not great either. What the hell is going on? Why are they so... Is it just luck? What is it just bad luck? Why are they so bad?
Well, the Golden State game, they looked like they were confused over who was covering who. People were just like walking up to the 3-point line and shooting it. It wasn't even like they were doing switches, screens, or like double screens. Like they were just walking up to the 3-point line and shooting it.
I mean, Steph Curry hit some shots where you're like, I mean, he gets open, nothing you can do about him. But like, and they covered him good most of the game. But yeah, this is just ridiculous.
Well,
Okay, so who are the best teams in the NBA, Jay? Let's give me two of the best teams. And I'll tell you where they rank in the opponent's 3-point percentage. Let's give me the best teams.
OKC in Cleveland.
OKC is number one against the 3-point shot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who's next?
Cleveland.
Boston.
Boston, Cleveland.
Third in the NBA against the 3-point shot.
Mm-hmm.
Who's Cleveland?
Yeah.
Cleveland is 16th, surprisingly enough.
Okay.
By the way, Cleveland's on their way to having like an amazing season. How are they this good?
Well, I mean, they did have a good team.
If they right now they have to go. If they go 10-10 the rest of the way, they win 62 games.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
That's pretty. If they would go 15-5, which is pretty realistic for Cleveland, they win 67 games. I don't understand how they're this good, because the team is not that different than last year.
No, they just got continuity. They have a very good team. Then they're deep. They're like 10 deep. I mean, they got like Ty Jerome going nuts on a daily basis now.
That's what the Knicks need.
Yeah.
That's what the Knicks need. They need a Ty Jerome, also, or like a Peyton Pritchard who went off for 40 points the last night for Boston. The Knicks need a bench player or two bench players that can hit threes and really contribute. And I know there's a little bit like depth issue and so forth, and maybe they can get guys for next year. But that's one huge factor in Celtics and Cleveland is they have a couple guys on their bench who can really contribute.
Well, that and just the starters have been together for so long. I mean,
Continuity, like top players, blah blah blah.
I think in basketball, continuity means more than people think.
Yeah, I mean that's totally. And the Knicks are. So it depends on how you want to count it. Some people say the Knicks are in year one of trying to build because they just changed their lineup. Some people say it feels like they're in year 500 because that's how long Tibbs has been here and that's how long I'm suffering. I mean, I don't know. What year are they in, Jay?
They're in like year 3, but they added 2 new starters this year, so it's almost
changed
like
everything up.
Yeah, it's almost like a reset.
By the way, who are the new Knicks? We got some new Knicks.
Well, I know they let go Toppin.
They got let go of Jacob Toppin. We're going to do our documentary on the life and times of Jacob Toppin and all he contributed to the Knicks. There'll be a 5-part special. Matty Ryan, I guess he's going to go back to his old job playing QB for the Falcons. They signed 2 players though, right?
Yeah, to 2-way contracts. They did not sign the empty roster spot yet.
Right, which maybe they're seeing who's injured or what they need. It wasn't they haven't signed TJ Warren, which is what we kind of expected. They signed Marjan Bucamp, who I don't know how to pronounce his name. It may not matter, but people say it's a good pickup. Mm-hmm. And they signed another guy from the draft, who I guess was not. I don't know what the story was, but he was in the D League. Adon something or other.
Yeah. So the CBA is complicated for no reason. It's like super complicated for no reason. And the way I read it is that the Knicks now have enough room for two guys to sign. And every day they delay filling one position, you get an extra day for the second position.
My understanding is because of the two-way contracts, like you only play a certain number of games in the NBA on a two-way contract, but because of where they are in the season, the guys they sign can play pretty much the rest of the season.
Yeah. But
So
but also the not two-way contracts, the regular contracts. Say there's like the second one that can play like the last 6 days of the season. If they postpone it to tomorrow, then he could play the last 7 days of the season. So I think they're waiting for those two to like meet in the middle, and then they'll fill both of them.
Do they have two? They have two empty spots? I thought they only
Yeah.
had one.
No, another one opened up because they delayed.
Oh, okay. Okay, sounds good. Whoever they're going to add is not going to make much of a difference, but we could use more help.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would still like to see Warren just to add some scoring. I mean, you get a score like that off the bench. I think that would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, other teams also find guys like Ty Jerome wasn't some like it wasn't some amazing find from Cleveland. He just turned out to be really good for them. But like his background, I was looking at this before. He was on Phoenix and OKC, then Golden State, then Cleveland picked him up at age 26. He was kind of a journeyman. He's still a little bit of a journeyman, but like he's contributing to make a major contributor. Like you could find guys who are like this, who have just kind of bounced around a bit, who can actually contribute a lot in the bench.
I mean, other teams seem to be able to do that pretty easily.
I got faith in. It seemed everything we've seen is Leon Rose Incorporated. They know what they're doing. It's really hard not to trust them at this point. So like, all the Knicks are in like a pretty, unlike the Mavericks who tried to close their window. Knicks have a solid window here. Everyone's signed for the next few years. Everyone's just gotten to their prime. The Knicks have a reasonable window to try to win this. We'll see how it goes. Knicks could, and also the playoffs. Knicks stay healthy. Other teams don't stay healthy. Things could work out. You never know.
You never know. I mean, I like I said last episode, I don't think the talent gap is as bad as the box score has been, and the Knicks are 2-0 with a fully healthy roster.
Okay,
The fact that there's only been 2 games is not good, but they are undefeated with the full roster.
So, do you think the Knicks 3-point woes, not in the defending the 3-point line, is a bit of just bad luck? Like, guys are just like it's some guy just happens to be they're just like those guys. Those shots have fallen, or like are the Knicks just the worst at covering? Is it because they have to like make up for Towns? Why are they so bad on three? Especially when you have Wingstop there. You have like guys that are supposed to be good defenders. Why can't they cover the three?
I don't know. Lack of communication. It's something's like way off. I also do think that this will improve with Mitch though, because they're trying to cover like the whole court. Where now you're just like, all right, Mitch has got the paint covered. We don't have to even worry about that. We can maybe play a little harder on the 3-point line.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. Okay, so something else the Knicks are bad in.
You're all negative today, huh?
I'm what?
You're all negative today.
Ooh, I should be so positive. Like we're on the boring part of the season. We're trying to win a title. I'm just trying to point out what's wrong, Jay.
I mean,
Should I be like, oh my God, what a wonderful loss to Golden State. This is great.
they have the 4th best record in the entire NBA.
I know it's better than it's ever been on our podcast. Okay,
It's the best it's been since 1997.
Okay, calm down. Here's something else the Knicks used to be really good at, and what is something else? See if you can figure this out. What is something the Knicks previously excelled in? And one of the things that made their offense so good, and now they're really bad at it.
Offensive rebounding.
Yes. Where are they in offensive rebounding?
23rd.
20th. And Mitch coming back, that should make a huge difference.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the best offensive rebounders in the league.
Yeah. And Towns shoots some threes. he doesn't. I know, is it a cause for concern or just something they should need to work on?
I'm not concerned until I see this team like healthy play some good teams. And if they get run off the court with a fully healthy roster, I'll instantly go into panic mode. But right now I'm just like, I've seen these teams beat up on the Knicks when the Knicks were shorthanded. So it doesn't impress me. It doesn't worry me.
Okay. I've got another one for you that concerns me. Free throw attempts.
I mean, you know how I feel about the refs. I think it's rigged. And not just against the Knicks. Like, if you look at Jokic, like he got two-hand pushed under the net yesterday and there was no foul called. And he just doesn't get calls. Like, his arms are bleeding. Like, they just don't call fouls for him. I think there's certain players in certain teams that the refs don't like for whatever reason. And that's just
I think getting to the line, I think, is super important. You have to. Where do you think the Knicks are in free throw attempts?
27th.
25th. That's bad.
Yeah,
Do you need to get a lot of free throws to win games?
it sure helps. I mean, if you're getting a lot of free throws, that means the other team is probably in foul trouble.
Where do you think Cleveland is?
Cleveland, I would say, is third.
16th.
Oh,
Okay. Where do you think the Thunder are? And they got SGA who gets fouled every play.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna say like fourth.
28th.
Wow. Does
Okay, where do you think
nobody
this-
get fouled other than Shea?
Where do you think the Celtics are?
Celtics, they seem like an outside shooting team. I'm gonna say they're low, like 25th.
29th.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
That
That's
one
actually
makes
kind of
sense.
correct. I looked at this. I was like, it's pretty bad. The Knicks are 25th, but I'm like the Celtics and the Thunder are also 20th and 29th. So maybe the Bulls are the worst.
I know
but
the
the
Lakers,
Bulls.
Lakers are the first.
No, actually,
No? Okay.
not even. Lakers are fourth.
Okay.
Number one are the Grizzlies. I do think also if you look at who has the the Grizzlies are number one in free throw attempts, which means they're completely screwed from the playoff time because they're relying on getting to the line, and that doesn't always work out in the playoffs. Okay, those are my big categories I was concerned about. What any categories you're concerned about, Jay?
I am just concerned about health. I know they're the healthiest team in the league right now, but
Healthiest.
I am just worried that they're going to be healthy all season and then get injured right before the playoffs, just like my fantasy teams always do.
Hey, try to guess this stat. Okay, number one, best in the league is OKC. Number two is the Celtics. Number three is Cleveland, and number four is the Knicks. What offensive stat is this?
Oh, I thought you were just going to say wins.
Yeah, it does look like that, right?
Yeah.
What stat is this? OKC's number one, Celtics number two. Basically, the four best teams in the NBA are 1 through 4. What stat is it?
Points
It
per
just shows
game?
how important the stat is.
Points per game?
Well, that would be helpful. Yes, I could take a look at points per game in a second, but I don't think it's that. Points per game. Let's see where these guys are. Points per game is Cleveland, then Memphis, then Denver, then OKC, then the Knicks. Try again. I'll give you two more guesses, then I'll tell you.
Let's see. No, it can't be. Andrew said bench points. It can't be bench points.
No, the Knicks
are
are
like
fourth in the
last.
NBA. I believe OKC, Boston, and Cleveland are number 1 through 3 in bench points. I believe that. I just don't know how to check that stat.
Well, the Knicks are definitely last in bench points.
The Knicks are not first. Yeah. That doesn't. Elizabeth McBride's scoring a lot of points behind her back. I think this one's it's interesting. That's why I'm gonna make you guess again.
Field goal percentage?
Knicks are really high in field goal percentage. They are they're high enough their Knicks are third in field goal percentage. Denver's first, Cleveland, then the Knicks, then Indiana. But no. What is one of the most important things you need to do on offense besides score?
Assists?
That's important, but you don't have to get assists. Okay. One of the most important things to do is not give the ball back to the other team.
Oh, I was just about
Turnovers.
to say turnover. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's just interesting. Like the top four teams are the top four teams that give the ball away the least. Though, you know who number fifth is? Who kind of proves this entire stats, not everything, is Philly, who's god awful this year.
Yeah. Although they're probably like last in assists too. So
Philly or the Knicks?
Philly.
Oh, I'll tell you the Knicks are usually almost at the apps. The Knicks are almost always at the bottom for assists. This year they're the 11th, and Philly is 28th. Do you want to guess? There's a good team that's 30th, a top eight team.
In assists.
Yeah, and I guess it's not one of the top four, or else I would have just said top four.
Right. Milwaukee.
This team does not have a real point guard.
Memphis.
They're a young team. Memphis has Ja.
Houston.
Yes. Like they got Fred VanVleet.
Yeah, I was gonna say Van Fleet's.
Yeah. Anyway, our walk down stat lane I thought was interesting. To me at least. I don't care if it's interesting to you. Any other stats you want to ask me about, Chad? Okay, so we were asked about Shamet, how he's doing in from three, just to kind of end the fact that the Knicks can't shoot any threes. I feel like Shamet hasn't been hitting threes either lately. What do you think he's been doing?
I think he's been better lately. I'm gonna say he's one of the ones that went up post All-Star break.
Okay, so on the year, he is shooting. God damn it. Where's the stat? On the year, he is shooting 34% from three, or almost 34.6% from 3.
Mm-hmm.
Not amazing, but not horrible. Though it would be great. Like the other teams, Cleveland and Boston have guys on the bench who shoot 40% from three and actually shoot a bunch of threes. Knicks really need this, but he's been okay, right? Yes, he's been okay. December he was 75% from three, but that was only 4 games. Then he was 24% in January, 39% in February, and 40% in March. The March is only 2 games,
Yeah.
but
That was right.
generally he's been shooting threes. You're right. He's been shooting threes. Okay, he's been shooting almost 44% since the All-Star break.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I think Shamit's. I was gonna say Shamit. I think Campaign has also. Yeah, Shamit's been shooting better. I was thinking of Campaign. Campaign's the one I've been worried about lately. You think he's been hitting threes?
He's been kind of quiet. His minutes are all over the place too. He'll play
Yeah.
20. He'll play like 6.
So on the year, he's shooting 37% from three, which is fine, I guess. He's been all over the place. Also, the minutes. It's really hard when the minutes are all over the place.
Yeah.
Like it would. I know Tibbs needs to play everyone 48 minutes a night, but it would be helpful for the bench if they had some more stable minutes.
Yeah, if they knew that what their role was going into the game. It's like, well,
So
will I play 30
All-Star-
minutes or will I play 3? I don't know.
Shamit not Shamit. Payne pre All-Star break was 37%, and post All-Star break he's 33%, or 33%. So like, he's definitely been worse as of late from three.
Yeah.
But his minutes are kind of all over the place, as you said. So like, what do you want him to do? He's not getting consistent minutes.
Yeah.
Um,
We got an email.
We got an email. Let's read the email.
Sam writes, "Hey guys, what do you guys think of a trade of Mikhail and Precious for Dante and Nikhil Alexander-Walker this offseason?"
Okay, say it again.
Mikhail and Precious for Dante and Nikhil Alexander-Walker. I think that you can't trade 5 first-round picks for Mikhail and then trade him for Dante. I would like to.
Who would you rather have, Dante or Bridges? That's a better question.
My heart says Dante, but my brain says Bridges.
Yeah, I think Bridges' ceiling is much higher. I think Bridges can give you. I mean, Dante is awesome. I'd love to have them both. I think Bridges can. If you need to get to that next level to win the whole thing, Bridges raises your ceiling more so than Dante. Dante's awesome, but like Dante played out of his mind last year. He has not been as good in Dallas, and probably has been a bit unhappy there also. But like, he's awesome. I think Bridges is a better player.
Yeah. I would also like to see all the Villanova guys together. I don't want to keep getting 3 out of 4 and then trading one for the other.
I know, but like I don't know how he even comes back to the Knicks because he cost I don't know how they even cleared the money to get him back or trade for him. So I think we can't pretend he's coming back, even though I'd love for him to come back.
Yeah.
He signed a 4-year deal, right? So this is year 2. He's got 2 more years at like what, 15 million a year, 16 million a year, or maybe it was like 12 million a year. I forget what it was. But like still like, I mean, Dallas is not going to cut him.
No, it would have to be another trade.
I mean, Minnesota. Sorry, I keep saying Dallas. Minnesota. Minnesota's not going to cut him. So like, yeah, it'd have to be another trade. And what are you going to give up to get him? And like, the Knicks don't have that much. Like, would you rather have McBride? I'd rather have Dante over McBride. I think that's no question. I love McBride. I'd rather have Dante. But I mean, like, they're not going to do that deal either.
Right. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I don't think the Knicks are going to get Dante back unless something weird happens.
I mean, I'm rooting for something. I was rooting for something like Dante was so bad earlier in the year. I thought maybe he was trying to play him back, self him back on the team. Hey guys, I just don't know how to shoot threes anymore. You might want to cut me so I can go back to the Knicks. I'm not trying to go back to the Knicks or anything.
I mean, stranger things have happened. I just,
Yeah, that's true. Strange things happen. Who knows? It would be awesome to have him back. But yeah, the Knicks. It would be cool. It'd be cool to have him back. We got a question. Let me find the question. Okay. Trey writes. This was on Twitter or X or whatever. Since we are clearly not on the level of a Boston or even a Cleveland, what would a playoff result you'd be moderately okay with? So obviously we're not happy. We obviously want to win the title. We're not pleased. Most results are not going to please us in the playoffs. But like, what was we say? Like not maybe moderately happy. What would you be moderately okay with in the playoffs, Jay?
a competitive second round.
So what we've had the last 2 years, just meeting that, just getting there.
Yeah, I mean, it's
literally where we were the last 2 years. Just get back there, and you're good.
Well, I mean, the top two teams in the East are better than they were in previous years. I think next year the Knicks are going to be better.
So every year we're like, we'll get to the second round this year, but next year we'll be better.
Well, what do you think?
I don't disagree with you. I'm just annoyed. I want the team to really have a shot of winning it all.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like there's some holes in the roster right now. I mean, what needs to happen if the Knicks are going to try to win this year? Obviously, everyone's got to be healthy. They need Bridges and OG. OG's been bringing a lot. By the way, OG lately, last couple games, last week or so, he's been awesome on offense. He's playing the way you need him to play on offense.
Yeah.
You need Bridges to play like he did against the Spurs. You need Josh Hart to remember how to shoot threes. You need everyone cooking to get this to have a shot, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I still think they have a chance. It's going to be tough. They're going to have to beat maybe Boston and Cleveland, like both.
Right. Cleveland still, I know their record is insane, but they still, I'm like, are they really this good? I just don't. I have trouble believing they went from like 2 first-round exits to this good.
Mm-hmm.
In continuity and bench and blah blah. It's just, I still need to see it in the playoffs. Boston, clearly they're ridiculously good. So they're both. But you know what? In a series like the Knicks can play. I know they got crushed by this team this year, but they can probably play them pretty close in the playoffs. If everything's firing on all cylinders, the Knicks have a shot this year.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen the Knicks play any of these teams with Mitch, so it's a completely different look.
Yeah, the Knicks can definitely show a different look. I would love to see. I want to see more of a healthy Mitch next to a healthy Towns. That would be really interesting.
Yeah,
kind of what Minnesota did last year. I want to see that because I feel like that's. And I guess maybe like you put Hart or Bridges, someone moves to the bench. Maybe Hart, I guess, moves to the bench. But you just do something. It'll round everything out, basically.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, but I guess the second round. I guess You can't lose if the Knicks lose in the first round to Detroit. I think at that point, we talked about it last show, but I think that at that point, I'm ready to go like, hey, do we need to move on from Tibbs? I think that's the overreaction I would have only if the Knicks lose in the first round.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Or I guess first round, or they get annihilated the second round. Where you're like, I don't know, maybe Tibbs is amazing, but sometimes you need another coach to take you to the next level. I don't know if that's true or not. But if you get embarrassed in the playoffs, then,
I
then
mean,
you
if
start thinking about that.
if they lose in the second round by an average of 20 points a game, the Knicks have too much talent for it to be that bad. So yeah, I would start questioning things too.
And Detroit looks good. They're definitely a lot better than we thought, but they're not beat the Knicks in the playoffs good. Like that would be. And
Yeah,
I know they played the Knicks well this year, but that would be goddamn absurd.
They're not pushovers, but
They're not pushovers.
yeah,
No.
there's no way they should lose that series.
No, but they're a fluky, streaky team that relies on like Malik Beasley to hit a bunch of threes. They have a limited talent on that roster. Cade is awesome. There are not that many other guys that are awesome on that roster. There's no way you should lose them in the playoffs.
I mean, there's no first round matchup that the Knicks should lose.
No, yes, you're right. They should not lose the first round. But if you're playing Milwaukee in the first round, that's a war.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there is a scenario where the Knicks have to play Milwaukee, then Boston, then Cleveland, which is just insane.
So Giannis in the first round's a war. Indiana's also a war. You don't want to play them first round. I mean, you have some bad juju from last year. You don't want to have them be your first round matchup. The Knicks had a hell of a first round matchup against Philly last year. It was an awesome series, but you know what? Maybe we don't want we want just I'd rather have an easier first round series to get ourselves ready for second round. I mean, maybe that costed the Knicks in the second round against Indiana also. They had exhausted everything they had and every player they had in that first series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you can't convince me otherwise that a healthy Knicks team last year doesn't beat the crap out of them.
Yeah. It is also amazing the Knicks went to war with Philly, and now Philly is like in just complete garbage.
I mean,
would you say if you had to say what's the most disappointing team of the season, would it be Philly or would it be Dallas?
Dallas made the finals last year, and they look like they're in rebuild mode. Philly, you could be like, yeah, there's high expectations, but I wouldn't be shocked if like Embiid and Paul George got injured.
Right.
So,
I mean, it's also like Philly. They're both have injury issues, but Dallas seemed to commit like franchise suicide.
we'll also look at our preseason picks. Like we both picked Dallas pretty high, and we both were pretty. We were like kind of mediocre. You were much lower in Philly. I think you picked them to finish like 8th or something.
Ooh, someone knew something. You want to go through? Do you have our picks, our most recent picks?
I think I do. Yeah.
Okay, I would love to see how we're actually doing.
Yeah. So you picked Detroit over 41.5.
And they seem to be heading there over 41. Seems like they're a lock for that.
You picked Phoenix under 40.5. That's going to be close.
I think I might have this one also.
Yeah, you might have that one. San Antonio under 39.5.
Oh, I'm looking pretty good on San Antonio.
Yeah, and Orlando under 41.5.
Okay, so I have nailed all four.
You
I'm
might
4 for
sweep.
4.
You might sweep
I might
that.
sweep this. This is, and I picked San Antonio to lose before Wemby was out for the year. So I really oh man, I am so good at this, Jay. How are you doing?
Let's see, Denver over 52.5. Looking pretty
The
good.
overs are always tough. But I think, what is it? How many wins?
52.5. They have to go like 13 13-7. That's definitely
It's
doable.
doable. They're playing a lot better lately. Yeah.
Philly under 32.5.
I gave that one to you. I should have. Yeah, that seems like a lock.
Boston under 59.5.
Yeah, 59.
Yeah. I don't know why
Okay.
that was that high.
That's really, really high. Okay.
They did go on like a little bit of a losing streak right after that because they were on a pretty crazy pace. And then Milwaukee under 46.5. That one's not looking great.
Milwaukee under 46. Yeah, that seems like you're gonna lose that one. So you might go 3-1 and get crushed by me at 4-0.
Yeah, it's very possible.
And let's go back just what do you have our preseason ones?
Preseason ones, yeah, I'll pull that up. I know we already won Philly, which is why I bet Philly again, because I thought it'd be funny to win the under in Philly and then bet the under again and win again. And then we already won, I believe we won Charlotte already too.
Charlotte was
Under 30, I believe.
Charlotte could be under 20. I think we have a lock here.
Yeah. Let's see, what else do we have? We have.
I was just looking at the bad teams. Utah has 15 wins. I don't know how they missed the opportunity to trade Larry Marketing last year. Like he was pretty good last year. Like they couldn't see they were going nowhere with Marketing.
I know. We have Clippers under 35.5. We're gonna lose that.
That's lost.
We're gonna lose that by like next week.
Yeah.
Grizzlies under 47.5. Probably losing that. They're in a bit of a slide right now, but they'd have to go like 10-10.
The Minnesota and Dallas picks we lost.
Knicks over 54.5. They're looking like they're going to finish with exactly 54.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll get that extra win. Let's see. The Hornets under 30.5. We got that. Minnesota over 52.5. We're going to lose that like tomorrow.
Not a chance. Though they have been playing better since Randall and Dante are back.
And
Dallas.
Over 49.5 when they had Luka and everybody was healthy.
The dream team couldn't get them to 49 wins.
Well, they'd have to go on 19-1.
Yeah.
I mean, even if we reset to the beginning of the season roster, they wouldn't go 19-1. So,
okay. We are at the worst part of the season where we're just kind of like, stuff's going on. What do we got coming up ahead of us, Jay?
We have a West Coast trip with
great.
Yeah,
the Lakers to. Oh, yeah, all these games are also so annoying because like, you don't even want to watch the games they're on so late. The Lakers start at 10 o'clock. Then Friday night, the Clippers start at 10:30. Then Sacramento on Monday night at 10:30, and Wednesday night, Portland at 10 p.m. All the games are so annoying.
Yeah.
Lakers are on fire right now, by the way. They have the second best record in the West. Lakers are going to be tough. Clippers and Sacramento and Portland are all very beatable.
And then Golden State again after that. After a 4-day break, which is good.
Yeah, they'll need the days off. But it is not an easy schedule going forward. And great. Just end the goddamn season.
I mean, it's not terrible after that. You got
No, it's not terrible.
Miami, San Antonio, Charlotte, Washington, Dallas. I mean, they could pull off a win streak right there.
Yeah, but it's like, and all you want them to do is just like, I don't know, just stay in the third seed, I guess. Or he gets I don't think they're gonna. Chances are they're not topping the Celtics here. You just don't want them to fall to the fourth seed.
Right. They're ending the season with 2 against Cleveland and 1 against Boston, so that's fun.
Yeah. Just got. But it's also they end the season. You said it's 2 against Cleveland, 1 against Boston.
Yeah.
Is that what they're ending this?
Yeah.
You know what? Oh yeah, they have Detroit also. I feel like you might want to sit some of those games.
Well, I mean, Cleveland already clinched the playoffs. They might not. They might sit players both of those games.
I mean, like, I don't know if like Tibbs really needs to play. Like the last game, I guess last year though, you played in overtime to get your 50th win against the Bulls, and then you looked pretty good in the playoffs. So I don't know. I can't. Whatever Tibbs does is probably right.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on. So the Knicks did not want to tank and get a lower seed, but the seeding might be all shaken out by then. So, yeah, we'll have to see what the standings are by then.
Right. If the Knicks are locked into their seed, it might be a different story.
Right. The Knicks could have tanked and moved down a spot last season, if I recall, but they decided not to and go all out against the Bulls, which is fine because I don't like tanking for position. That kind of just like says you're scared of the other team.
Yeah. No. Whatever. Okay, we have a few more weeks of the season to go. we'll get through this, and then we'll get to the much better part of the season, the playoffs, which are going to be insane. Better be Knicks gotta just dominate the first round.
Oh, they
Jay,
will.
you're gonna spend. You're gonna sell a kidney to go to a playoff game this year.
I know prices are so expensive. I will
Oh
be
my God.
going to probably Stout to watch a game, but I don't think I'll be in the.
I'll be
arena.
going to Stout with you, and I'm also going to try to get a playoff tickets because I do like selling kidneys.
All right.
Oh, okay. Anything else you want to talk about, Jay? Anything else today? Anything else around the NBA news? Like,
I mean, I don't want to talk about the Lakers. They look good. It's annoying.
Stephen A. Smith got $100 million over 5 years from ESPN because apparently he's the only person left that people watch on ESPN. I don't know who is watching him, but apparently he's their top personality.
After they just canceled Around the Horn.
You know, I have to say though, if I'm trying to think of ESPN personalities, he's the only one I know. I'm trying. I mean, there are others, I guess, but he's the most recognizable ESPN personality. Even though I don't dislike him, but I wouldn't really watch him either.
Andrew said you're going to forego a 9th annual holiday for a Knicks playoff ticket. No, Mark's still going to go on his 9th holiday. Don't worry about that.
Why can't I do both? Why can't I just do both?
So check the show notes. I am running a Kickstarter for a game that I made, and there is still 12 days left to contribute to the campaign. We're about halfway there.
Is raising $6,500. He just topped 3,000. Contribute $25. Just contribute. Get him over this total. This is Jay's dream. Jay's dream is to make a card game you could play after dinner with some of your friends, have some drinks, have a good time. This is Jay's dream. Make it happen for him.
And it's if you contribute, you get a game. So it's not like you're just giving me money. Contribute $25 and you'll get a game. And if I don't hit my goal, you get a refund. There's no risk.
Will you give Jay for $30? Will you give a handy?
No, you still get a game.
Okay. There's someone contributed $2,000. We don't know who it is, but that's a wonderful person contributed $2,000. Will you blow that person?
We'll talk about that off air. But thank you for if that was a listener, thank you.
It's unbelievably nice.
If you want to email us, nyknickspodcast@gmail.com or nyknickspodcast on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Patreon. And we'll be back next week and guess every week through the end of the season.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Andrew said, would you rather Knicks title or success with the card game?
I'm going to go with Knicks title, but I really don't care about the card game. I care about it. I want it to succeed for Jay, but I care about the Knicks title a lot more. I'm sorry, Jay. Is that terrible to tell you?
No. I mean, I had a feeling you were going there. That's fine.
Are you going to take the Knicks title, Jay, or the card game? How good of a fan are you?
I'm going to go for the card game right now because I feel like I'm so
Holy
close.
shit, Jay, you are a traitor. I can't believe I'm doing a podcast with a traitor.
So our other podcast is called The Brink of Sanity. That's also the name of the card game. So if you go to Kickstarter and look up Brink of Sanity, you will find it. And if you are a fan of the Brink of Sanity podcast, some of the cards have Brink of Sanity Easter eggs in there. I might have peppered in ant and mold references, and maybe one of the cards has Mark's hometown in there. You never know. Could be.
You never know. There's a lot to find out about.
All right. So thanks for listening, everybody, and we will see you next week.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye. You better go away.
I'm gonna leave.